All right. All right. What am I doing here? That's the question of the day. I'm gonna bring the music down here. There we go. Now it's not blaring so much in my headphones. Completely spur of the moment live stream where I decide to do something with my YouTube channel here. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But what am I doing? I want to change music, I think, because I'm about to switch things up here. Let's see. Go with this. You can tell by the thumbnail, I'm just playing around with that photo editing program that comes with Linux, the new or GNU image manipulation program, or GIMP as they call it. And there's a upgrade you can, or files you can add to it to make it look like Photoshop. Now, I'm familiar with Adobe Photoshop, but Linux's GIMP program for photo editing, I am not familiar with that much at all. Tried playing around with it a bit. There's a kind of a learning curve to it. As I get a drink of water here to wet the whistle. Let's see, what am I doing? I want to share a screen. A window. Let's see. This, I think I want to share. All right. So here I am playing around with Photo GIMP. Get some nice mellow music in the background here. Now, anybody out there, whether you're live, lurking, or catch me on a replay, I want to thank you for joining me today. This is completely unplanned. I just had some free time and I wanted to play around a bit with, I guess, trying to get my marketing unified for my Twitter X, my YouTube, and some other things. I'm looking at this thinking I need a new banner somewhat. Oh. All right, so here, this is GIMP. This is Linux's image editing program. Supposed to be their version of Photoshop, but I can tell you it's nothing like Photoshop. I've had like years and years and years of Photoshop training. This leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, plainly speaking. First off, I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in on this to make it fill the screen. I know how to view. Zoom. Oh, well, how about that? I think that's what I wanted. Anyway, I'm looking at this. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the font. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the lower text. I'm trying to describe what I want to do with my channel. Took me a bit trying to find just the right graphic I want to use. I found it on, of all places, DeviantArt. A nice artist on DeviantArt putting out some free artwork I didn't mind folks using. So I found this pretty nice graphic. Kind of fit the feel of what I was going for with my channel. Just had a little bit of a chocolate oatmeal cookie. Got some caffeine. I got some chocolate, so I'm caffeinated and chocolatated. A new word I just made up. Let's see. Don't know if I want to do. Oh, in the chat. Hello, Wendy Trauma Warrior. Normally, my Saturday afternoon streams, I'm chatting and rambling on about some comic books here and there, but didn't have all my ducks in a row for this afternoon, so no comic book stream for this Saturday afternoon. Now, this is like I said, a completely unplanned live stream where I'm playing around with. This is Photo GIMP. It is a version of the GNU image manipulation program that comes with Linux. Let me see if I can change this font. I'm not happy with that. Oh, it's nap time for you, and you're enjoying the laid-back atmosphere. Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess you worked overnight, had a long evening, or a long morning. That's cool. And then if I click on any of these fonts, will it change? Oh, it does change. How about that? I want to change the text window. This is so different from Adobe Photoshop. It's not even funny. Now, when I was going to art school for photography, I had like 4 years or so of Adobe Photoshop classes, so I like to think I'm pretty proficient in Adobe Photoshop, but this is a whole new beast altogether. And I'm just clicking on different fonts here, trying to see if I can find a font that I like. Oh, hello there, Melted Copper in the chat. Hello there. No. Why is it that all these fonts look the same? Oh, that looks different, but I don't like that. Yeah, welcome back in action, Melted Copper says. Thank you. Thank you. This is, like I said earlier, this is kind of a unplanned, spur-of-the-moment live stream. Normally, my Saturday afternoons, I'm chatting away about some comic books. But I just didn't have all my ducks in a row, so now I'm just playing around with trying to make a new banner. Now here I am kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I want to get serious about my YouTube hobby and make a banner that I like that I can... Oh, I don't like that at all. That's bad font. Make a unified banner that I can paste all over the place for my YouTube, my Twitter X. I have a Ko-fi account because it's going to be a long time before I get anywhere near monetization on YouTube. So I've got a, I don't know what they call it, Ko-fi account, ko-fi.com. Hello, Padawannabe. Good to see you here. Oh, what's this notification? Yeah, completely spur of the moment live stream as I play around in not Photoshop, but the Linux equivalent of Photoshop, or what they like to think is their equivalent to Adobe Photoshop. So far, I am not liking these fonts. I actually prefer the font, the font that I started off with. Oh, what's this? Edge of the Galaxy. Edge of the Galaxy italic. There's something that looks a bit different, but no, I do not like this at all. For the time being, I may exit out of this. How do I go back to what I was? What I was dealing with? Where? Okay. Maybe in retrospect, this font doesn't look all that bad. This is probably a work in progress. So, Pop Culture Republic with some kind of shadowing underneath. I was trying to figure out how to do a simple 1 pixel outline around the font. In Photoshop, I can do it in like a few clicks. And this GIMP program, I had to like sit down and watch this YouTube video on how to do this outline around font, and it was like step after step after step of, okay, like you do this and then you do this and then you double this layer and put this layer on top of this other layer. It's like no. I just did a simple drop shadow, and all this is going up to filters, light and shadow, and then they have this thing called long shadow, which just puts a shadow underneath the font, and you can click on it and go, oh, I want that color, and then I go here and say, oh, I want 10 pixels for the length, and you hit OK, and that effectively doubled that. And I don't want that. I just want I don't want that. Hello, Dad Man Walking. Thank you for joining me today as I play around with I'm doing something. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here. I just figured out how to move font around earlier. That's like a hotkey you press. Let's see, placement. I don't like stuff like dead center, kind of high and to the left, maybe not that high, I don't know, something like that maybe. The bottom text here, I'm okay if it's centered. Actually, let me play around with this text here. No, I kind of like it lower because I want to obscure the bottom part of the floating city that is the Pop Culture Republic. So if I put this here, it kind of blocks the underside, the underneathy part. Something about like that. Now, pop culture and entertainment, commentary and reviews, movies, TV shows, comic books, novels. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, how does this flow? Do I like this, or do I want to say, yes, I want to edit the text? Honestly, I'm thinking I can get away with just saying pop culture, commentary, and reviews. Less is more in this regards. And I want to make the font bigger. Or do I want to like make it stretchy? Now, if this was Photoshop, I would have already been through this with a series of keyboard hotkeys and some adjusting of the fonts and stuff. But this, since I have made the bold move of ditching Windows completely and going over to a Linux platform, it's like I'm having to learn everything all over again. Ooh, what's this doing? This is doing something. Do I like this? I don't know. Pop culture, commentary, and reviews. Maybe if I bigify the font. Can I make this font bold? No. Bold really doesn't help. Alright. Now, if I go back to, what was it? Filters, light and shadow, long shadow. No, I need to be on the proper layer before I do that. Very much like Photoshop, you actually need to have the layer you want to edit selected. Light and shadow. See, it'd be so simple to have a text or font outline command right here where you just hit outline and actually have the font a 1 pixel or a 10 pixel outline that you can change the color of. Okay, and then I want to come up here and alter the length of the drop shadow. This is the closest thing I can come to actually having a, no, we don't want to do that. This is the closest thing I can come to having a font outline. That is. That looks a little bit better. Padawannabe saying, yeah, I've been getting messages saying that Windows 10 security will be stopping soon. They changed these things too much. I never progressed past Windows 7 Pro. I mean, Windows 7 Pro for me was the best iteration of Windows. And then once I learned more about the company and the people behind the company, like Mr. Gates and what he was doing, it's like, no, I don't care to deal with Windows anymore. So I ditched Windows and went over to one of the many distributions of Linux there is. And I haven't looked back at Windows since. Well, I say I haven't looked back. My laptop still has Windows 7 Pro on it. Anytime I want to deal with Photoshop on something remotely professional like real photo editing, I still have to go back to Adobe Photoshop, and that runs perfectly on Windows 7 on my laptop. I've tried installing Adobe Photoshop on this Linux here, and the Wine programs don't seem to like Photoshop. Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom works all day, every day. It's kind of freaky how well Lightroom works in Linux. But Photoshop is another critter altogether. Another drink of Dr. Pepper to get some caffeine. Also, another thing I was looking at was StreamYard versus EVMux. I listen to people streaming talking about, StreamYard, oh no, and what they're doing is, we don't get it. I looked at EVMux and they're like a little bit different. Not sure if I like them that much, but they are way cheaper. They're like half the price almost of StreamYard's. Yeah, I like this right about here. So pop culture, commentary, and reviews. Movies, TV shows, comic books, novels. That's pretty much it. That's what I like talking about. Movies, TV shows, comic books, the occasional novel I've enjoyed over the years, or something I'm currently reading. Commentary and reviews, all things pop culture. Ooh, how about that? What would that do? If I go here and hit text tool, text, yes, I'm editing. If I said, if I was in the right, okay, that's crazy. So if on one side of the P and pop, the font size is at 95. If I go to the left of the P, it drops down to 24. So I go 95. Okay. This is not right. Oh, oops. All things pop culture, commentary, and reviews. As I go back and forth on this, all things pop culture, or simply pop culture, commentary, and reviews. I still want to enlarge that for some reason. I feel like it needs to be bigger. And this could be a hair smaller. Okay, that seems to flow a bit better. Still not crazy about this particular font, but if I try something else, it's odd how all the different fonts Linux GIMP has, and they all look the same. Okay, that looks a bit different. Okay, that's just slightly longer. That's, yeah, I'm clicking on stuff. I can see the font change a little bit, but these fonts are all about the same. Serif, serif bold italic, sans serif. Roboto. Oh, that did something. It's the same, but different. Oh, goodness. Oh, that did something. That just made the height of the letters different. I might drop this into Photoshop on my laptop later and play with it there, because Linux GIMP, you're just not ready for prime time. I mean, comparing GIMP to Photoshop, there's no real comparison. I'm getting used to GIMP and Linux. What a strange name. Plus, there are files you can dump into the GIMP folder that will alter the appearance of this program, make it look more like Adobe Photoshop, which is what I've done. It's got this little toolbar here that looks kind of reminiscent of Adobe Photoshop. You got a toolbar across here. You got some things here, there, and whatnot, but it's close yet so far away. I'm probably going to have to look for a bunch of free fonts and dump them in the font folder in the operating system. I've already added like 3 different styles of fonts that I'm seeing in this little font list here. But all the fonts that come with Linux, they all look about the same. There's really very little difference in these. There were a few that were very odd looking and radically different, but I'm not seeing those. Oh. Okay, that was a little bit different, but I may have to just go back and add the fonts I like. Like, I don't think I've even seen New Times Roman or any of the normal stuff you would see, and even a word processing program. There's this Nimbus Sans Narrow Bold. I don't even know what that means. So here I am flipping from one to the next. There were some that were really thin fonts, and I'm not seeing those. I may just take this image into Photoshop later tonight and see what I can do with it there. But this is all part of the learning process when you dump Windows completely and switch over to Linux. And so far, as far as a new Linux user goes, being a new Linux user, I quite enjoy the operating system. Just about everything I've done on Windows, I am able to do on Linux, with the rare exception like Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Lightroom works perfectly from what I've seen. It looks a little bit odd because it tries to retain that Windows look and feel, but in a Linux environment, it's kind of odd. Plus, you've got so many programs that help you install Windows-based programs into the Linux operating system. Okay, seriously, Edge of the Galaxy. I know this one. This one looked completely different. And it's just not doing a thing. Is there something I'm missing here? Click on a font. I would expect to see this font selected change. Oh, well, isn't that silly? So this does nothing. It's this down here that I apparently have to type the font into. Okay, this is kind of like a Star Trek style font. I'm not too happy with that, actually. Okay, as I go back in my editing history, I think I'm pretty happy with this. This does not look bad. This again, I'll make this a larger font, which I'm happy with, and then this I want to make a slightly smaller font. Okay, taking a look at that, I think I'm pretty happy with that at this point. Going back to my light and shadow. Drop shadow. What's this do? Yeah, not sure what that does. Oh, I saw what that did. That was very subtle. That was a very subtle drop shadow, but I want this effect here. So it gives a nice hard drop shadow underneath the letters. Kind of makes it raise up from the background, much like my title across the top. So this doesn't look bad. Before I go any further, I want to save this, save my work. Oh, Windows 11 randomly captures your screens. Wow. I never, like I said, I never progressed past Windows 7 Pro. I mean, once I had Windows 7 Pro, I thought that was pretty well. That was a really good iteration of Windows. Once they went away from that, it's like I lost interest. I tried Windows 8. I didn't care for it. I tried Windows 10. I think I installed Windows 10 on a desktop and quickly removed it. As like I installed it, played with it, and then just deleted it completely. I don't know if it was something I did, but it's like the only time I ever installed an operating system with all the network ports wide open. Not only could I see my network, my local network, I could see my brother's network at his house. It's like, no way. This is terrible for security. So I never went. Windows 7 was their best operating system, in my opinion. Fortunately, I still get some kind of security updates on my laptop, which is kind of nice, since I guess there are people out there who still do Windows security updates for Windows 7, which is kind of nice. Okay. Now I want to let me take a look at my folder here, because this is not the right size for banners for like YouTube and other places. So I have to find out. I think YouTube is something silly like 1024 by 5 or 7 something. One place is like 1600 by 400. I think Rumble is 1600 by 400, and then Twitter is something like 1200 by 400. So I want to go to image. I did this a few nights ago. Now I can't remember where I did that. Edit, file, tools, there was a spot somewhere that allowed me canvas size. Oh, scale image. This is it. This is scale image right here. So I want to unclick that. If it was Adobe Photoshop, I would have already had it done. Like, bam, bam, done. Next. I'll do 1600 by 400. So width, 16. Oh. Select that, 1600 and 400, scale, and it does that. Now that does actually look more banner-like. So I will go and save this. Save it as File name 1600 by 400. Save that. Yeah, this does look better. I got Pop Culture Republic across the top. And I have Pop Culture Commentary and Reviews along the bottom. So until I think of something better, this seems to flow pretty well for me. Like I say, this is probably a now to actually export this. Export by file type. I want to do JPEG because everybody likes JPEGs. Okay. Checking that out. See how that looks. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. I can probably throw that on Twitter, X, Rumble, Ko-fi. There was one place, I don't know if it was YouTube. I think YouTube is slightly different. I may have to do this. Edit, view, image, scale image. 1200 by 400 scale. Makes it a bit smaller. Go back and save this. It's 1200 by 400. Save that. Now export this as a JPEG. It is so odd that I'm sharing the screen, but it's not picking up the export dialog. Got another image that's already labeled 1200 by 400, so I'll choose a different file name. There that goes, and export away. All right, cool. So I am pretty much done, I think, dealing with this. I will upload this around. Actually, what am I doing here? No, I don't want this. Don't want that. No, cancel. Let me go back here. I'll stop sharing this. Minimize this. Aha, there it is. This is all the stuff I was wanting to do, I think. Yes. Now I am about to go into my Ko-fi. And it's Ko-fi that requires the 1200 by 400, I think. Nope, they are completely different. Oh, goodness. Okay, there must be something strange because it's not weird. This is weird. Weird. Okay, I'll mess with this later. Anyway. Hack. I can at least show off one of the banners. Window. There we go. This is what it looks like on my Ko-fi. Things, of course, will change once I figure out how to get the new banner uploaded where it looks decent. Let's see. Maximize. Oh. There we go. So until I get to the point where my YouTube is accidentally monetized, I have one of these here Ko-fi accounts. I'll update regularly and post to. I have this. I have one of those buymeacoffee.com accounts as well. Something that tied me over until I eventually reach monetization on YouTube. And buying me a coffee, $2, pretty cheap. So if you like what I do, like listen to me ramble on about nonsense and stuff, pop culture, commentary and reviews as I waste hours of the day talking about movies, TV shows, comic books, whatnot. Throw some dineros my way. Every little bit helps. And how long have I been rambling today? Oh, I've almost hit not quite the 1 hour mark. But I've got stuff I need to take care of later this afternoon, so I do believe I'm going to close this down. Close this down. Close this down here. Now you can do that there. Okay. Well, this has been fun. I want to thank you all for joining me today as I want to... What do I want to... That's another thing EVMux does that the free version of StreamYard doesn't do, is they allow free users on EVMux to have like a little banner ad flying across the bottom of your screen. I think you can do that in the free version of StreamYards. I just haven't figured out how to do that. But anyway, let's see who all joined me today. First one out of the gate, right at the start of the show, was Wendy Trauma Warrior. Hello there. Very cool to see you joining in the chat. Then Melted Copper dropped by. Padawannabe. Then Dad Man Walking 55. Thank you all for joining me on this lazy, unscripted, unplanned, unscheduled Saturday afternoon. And watch me try to stumble around trying to figure out how to edit font on this Photoshop wannabe program until I can figure out how to make real Photoshop work on Linux. I know there's got to be a way to make real Photoshop work in Linux. But anyway, this has been fun, everyone. I want to thank you all again for joining me. Got the nice background music going on here. And I'll just let it play on out like this until, let's see, what am I doing? Future in the future days coming. Let's see, what normally am I doing? Yes, there's a really good chance you will see me again on Sunday evening as I join Appian on his channel discussing Farscape and all things Farscape, a wonderful, wonderful sci-fi TV show. For those who have never seen Farscape, it is an excellent, excellent series. Monday, I have no idea what I'm doing Monday evening. I have no idea what I'm doing Wednesday evening. And I think next Saturday, if I can get all my ducks in a row, I will be talking about comic books in one shape or another next Saturday. I don't know. I don't like to plan that far ahead. But with that, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Let's see, as I go and finish off some stuff I've got to do this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Until next time, see y'all later.